Welcome into Dome at Home Live, presented by FedEx. You're getting a look at Raymond James Stadium, where your 5-2 New Orleans Saints are getting set to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 6-2 for hopefully the division championship. Hi everybody, I'm Caroline Gonzalez. Welcome in again to Dome at Home Live, presented by FedEx. On today's show, we'll get an exclusive one-on-one interview with Saints legend David Thomas. John DeShazier will also sit down with left tackle Tyron Armstead. You don't want to miss it. First, I want to bring in my colleague who's at Raymond James Stadium, John DeShazier, for our countdown to kickoff presented by Waiter. JD, this game has huge implications for not only the Saints, but this Bucs team as well.
Yeah, this is for first place in the NFC South Division. And for the Saints, it means a little bit more, actually, because if they win, they sweep the season series. They hold the tiebreak advantage. So if they finish with the same record as Tampa Bay, obviously they win the division via the tiebreak. So huge for the Saints. Tampa Bay obviously looking to split the season series, and if they do, they go up by a game and a half on the Saints, but one game, a big game, in the loss column.
JD, the last time this team was really fully healthy was week 1 when they played the Bucs, and now again playing the Bucs, and it seems like the Saints team is going to have a fully healthy roster once again.
Yeah, you get Michael Thomas back for this game, and that's huge for the Saints, even if he doesn't have production. He didn't have a great deal of production in the season opener, 3 catches, 17 yards. But like Alvin Kamara said, if Michael Thomas is on the field, the defense has to account for him. And if you've got to account for him, hopefully that takes some of the pressure off Alvin Kamara, takes some pressure off Jared Cook, maybe off Emmanuel Sanders, who also will return after a 2-game absence in this one. So having Michael Thomas, you hope, will alleviate some pressure for that offense.
Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, not the only wide receivers that fans are going to have their eyes on. Antonio Brown for the Bucs, coming back from suspension, getting picked up by the Bucs earlier this year. What do you expect to see from him, JD?
Well, he says he's in shape, and this is what we know about him, Caroline. During a 6-year stretch in Pittsburgh, which ended in 2018, just a couple of years ago, he averaged 114 catches, 1,500 yards, and 11 touchdowns per season over those 6 years. So if he's right with the body and if he's right in the head, then he can be a force to be reckoned with. And the Saints are going to have to deal with him in this game.
Oh yeah, not to mention 2 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks going against each other in Drew Brees and Tom Brady in today's game, both with a lot on the line and both playing pretty good football right now.
Yeah, both of these guys are coming into this game on heaters. Drew Brees, 4 straight wins for the Saints, completing 75% of his passes, right around 1,130 yards, 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. So he's playing extremely well, especially that 75% completion rate. Keep your hand on that one because that's phenomenal. Then Tom Brady, since they lost to the Saints in the season opener 7 games ago, he's completed 67% of his passes, 18 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. That's allowed him to take the NFL all-time record lead from Drew Brees in touchdown passes. He's at 561. Brees is at 560. Brees will gladly let him have the record as long as he can win this game. But both quarterbacks playing extremely well coming into this one.
Focusing quickly, JD, on the Saints defense, they're going to need to apply a lot of pressure on Tom Brady, especially in the pocket. Do you think the Saints defensive line is up for that today?
Well, they were able to do it in the season opener. They got 2-3 sacks on them in the season opener, 3 sacks as a matter of fact. And so they were able to do it then. We know they're coming off a 5-sack game against Chicago. You hope that they can apply pressure because if they can't, it's going to be a long evening out here. Even though the weather's deteriorating a bit, the wind might pick up, but it's picking up in a certain direction. So whoever wins the coin toss, you'll see them defer. You'll see them take the win in the second and fourth quarters, I'm sure. But defensively, the Saints have got to be able to get some pressure on Tom Brady. They can't let him sit back, get comfortable, step up in the pocket. They got to hit him. Even if they don't sack him, they've got to rattle him and hopefully move him around.
Reminder, fans, find that comfy spot on the couch and tune into the game tonight at 7:20. Saints vs. Bucs can be found on NBC. Thanks, JD, so much. We'll check back with you in just a bit. For now, let's check in with some Saints fans who are checking in with us from all over the globe. It's time now for our black and gold roll call presented by Zatarans.
I'm Beth and I'm cheering on the Saints from Wales, which is in the UK. I love this team. Let's get this win.
DeShazier from Brooklyn, New York. And we want to say, Go Saints!
I'm Jason.
I'm Tyson.
From Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Yeah.
And who are we rooting for?
Saints.
New Orleans transplant Colleen Garland, coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Go Saints!
This is Freddie Young from Tucson, Arizona.
I'm Krista Mitchell from Denham Springs, Louisiana. Want to say Go Saints!
My name is Camilla Willery, and I'm from The Boot, which is known for Louisiana. And I'm a Saints fan. I'm a diehard Saints fan. Everything is about my Saints. New Orleans, baby.
We'll take you back to Raymond James Stadium in just a second, but first let's take a look at last week's win over the Bears in our WWL Black and Gold recap. It was another nail-biter, but this time in the Windy City. The Saints got off to a shaky start offensively, but managed to score a last-second touchdown before the end of the first half to bring them within 3. New Orleans' first 3 offensive possessions of the second half started inside Chicago territory thanks to 2 big runs from Deontay Harris. It was also another stellar performance by running back Alvin Kamara, who hauled in 9 passes for 96 yards, finishing with 163 all-purpose yards. As for the Saints defense, they managed to get pressure up front, racking up 5 sacks. Count them. They also extended their streak of not allowing a 100-yard rushing performance. The Saints ultimately won in overtime thanks to a successful kick by none other than Will Lutz. That was Week 8. Now let's take a look at this week's opponent. It's a battle for the division in Tampa Bay as the Saints will take on the Bucs for the second time this season. The Bucs currently lead the division at 6-2, and the Saints are at 5-2, having won the first round of this matchup in the home opener. There are plenty of storylines in this one, including the ongoing battle for the all-time passing touchdown record between Tom Brady and Drew Brees. This one has been circled on a lot of calendars since long before the season started. Here's what the Saints are saying about the matchup in the Bose Sound Bites of the Week.
Listen, they're very good at it. You look at them statistically. Obviously, they're just a very aggressive style. That's Todd Bowles, and that's why he's one of the very best. And you can tell those guys play extremely hard for him. And they've got a very good scheme. They've got very good players. They can get after you with the pass rush, whether they're rushing 4 or they're rushing 5 or 6. At the end of the day, they're playing at a high level. They're playing with a lot of confidence.
Their linebacker core is great. Those guys, they run well, they cover well, they tackle well. They're smart players. They make a lot of plays. So, just being aware of what they're doing within the defense. A lot of their big plays go through them. So, just doing things to kind of throw them off and try to affect them in our game plan is definitely something we look to do.
Yeah, obviously I'm looking forward to getting Mike back. You want to talk about, the NFL Top 100 came out and this guy ranked top 5. So that lets you know that we've been missing a guy of that caliber for 5-6 weeks. And so I'm looking forward to him getting back out. Not only for me, but for Mike as well. I know he misses the game, and I know the Saints fans miss him as well. And he just adds another element for us. Alvin's been having a great year, but if you combine him and Mike and then, plug in, myself and Jared Cook and Traquan and the rest of the guys, and I just feel like offensively, we can hit another level, and so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Let's play ball. Anytime, any place, let's play. Congratulations. I'm glad he's back. Get another shot. He's a good player. Can't speak negative about it. You see what he did at Pittsburgh. So just go out there with a good game plan. Go out there, do what we've been doing. Play good defense and focus on our job and do what we got to do, not what they have to do or who they have. So we just worry about us and just going out there competing and doing our thing.
Okay, that's what the players are saying. Now let's take a look at social media. It's Look Who's Tweeting, presented by Cox. This first one's from CBS Sports headquarters. In their first 4 seasons, players with at least 2,500 rushing yards, 2,500 receiving yards, and 45 total touchdowns in NFL history. Alvin Kamara, that's it. This next one comes from Jeff Nowak. Is this the week to de-jinx the color rush? I sure hope so. The Saints had won 6 straight times wearing them. 2018, weeks 4, 8, 11, Giants, Vikings, and Eagles. 2019, weeks 3, 4, and 13, Seahawks, Cowboys, and Falcons, but lost the only time they've worn them so far in 2020. Interesting, week 2 at Raiders. Okay, let's go into our breakdown presented by NOLA Lending. And joining us on that breakdown is Saints legend tight end David Thomas. David, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Excited to see some Saints football on this wonderful Sunday. David, let's just jump right into things here. Brady versus Breeze, battle of the quarterbacks. What are you expecting to see? Do you have any expectations going into this game?
Fortunately, I was able to play with both those guys, and the amount of quarterback ability on that field, I don't think you're ever going to see a game with that kind of ability and competitiveness and pedigree. I mean, those are 2 of the best to ever play the game. And I, even though they don't necessarily play each other, they're not on the field at the same time. You better believe that those 2 guys are super competitive, and they're going to be watching what the other's doing. And if one makes a play, I promise you the other's going to be thinking, well, we got to go match that.
It's so funny, David. We've been breaking down all week, offense, defense, specific players, special teams, things like that. But how much does this come down to both Drew Brees and Tom Brady just knowing what it takes to win?
Well, this feels like one of those games where whoever has the ball last is going to be the team that's going to win, just because both quarterbacks, they're going to play at a high level. They've got great weapons around them. And it'll be a challenge for those defenses, because I think both the defenses have a lot of really good players, but I think it's safe to say neither defense has a player at the level of Tom or Drew, and so it's going to be fun to watch the 2 defenses try to get after the quarterback, try to disrupt the quarterback, but then those quarterbacks, I mean, you're just not going to fool them. They've kind of got the answers to the test with their experience and their ability to prepare mentally and physically, and it's just it's a pretty special game just to be able to watch this tonight, and I hope it's just an all-time classic.
I'm going to kind of ask you to pick favorites. I know you played with both, but Drew Brees is getting Michael Thomas back, Emmanuel Sanders this week. Obviously, Tom Brady has a new shiny toy in Antonio Brown. Which team do you think has the most weapons right now?
It's funny you ask that, because I played in New Orleans, I played in New England, and both places are pretty special to me. But when you look at the matchups, I mean, you look at what Alvin Kamara could do, both in the backfield and as a receiver. I think Jared Cook's one of the more underrated tight ends, and then getting Mike Thomas back and Emmanuel Sanders back. I mean, I feel like those are weapons that are hard to match up with, just because of their versatility. All 4 of those guys can line up as receivers. They can line up in the slot. Jared Cook can line up in the backfield. Just like Kamara, he can line up as a tight end. I mean, I feel like the versatility that the Saints guys offer is really hard to match up, and that's one of the strengths of the Saints offense is with Coach Payton is finding ways to get guys lined up in a favorable matchup, and I think that'll be one of the big keys to this game is getting Mike Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders matched up on the Bucs' worst defenders.
David, as a former tight end, how impactful is having a player like Jared Cook on this team and Josh Hill, someone who's consistent, someone you can go to get that first down, or maybe a touchdown, as we've seen many times with Jared Cook this year?
Absolutely. Those guys, Josh and Jared, are both very experienced, reliable guys. They're gonna be where they're supposed to be, and that's one of the things Drew is so good at is trusting his receivers and tight ends to be exactly where they're supposed to be and pulling the trigger knowing that they're going to be there. And I think that reliability and the timing and the chemistry that Drew has with all those guys is what makes them so special.
Switch from offense to defense for me, if you can. Put on that coaching hat. What can the Saints defense do to slow down Tom Brady in this Bucs offense?
Well, one of the things you've got to do is disguise. He's been around the game for so long. I mean, it's hard to really fool him. But the longer you can hold your disguise as a defender and make everything look the same, but then as soon as the ball snapped, it turns into something different. I think that's one of the keys. And also, obviously, Tom's not the most mobile quarterback. So if you can find a way to get pressure up the middle, whether that's with blitzes or with your defensive tackles or with stunts, bringing Cam Jordan up the middle. Anything you can do to kind of get him off the spot and get pressure up the middle, because he's not gonna be looking to break the pocket and make plays with his feet. So if you can find a way to disrupt his timing by getting pressure up the middle, I think that'll be a big key for this game defensively.
Just a moment ago, you talked about how good both of these quarterbacks are. They're obviously in a competition for this passing touchdown record. Who do you think is ultimately going to come away with it?
That's a tough one to see. My black and gold. The difference between Tom. I went to a Super Bowl with Tom, but we didn't quite pull it out. But with Drew, we did win the Super Bowl. So my allegiance is definitely to the Saints there. So I'm going to go with Drew just because my allegiance to him and the Saints, and also I think just with Drew, he's going to find whoever's open. He doesn't necessarily play favorites. Whoever's open is who's going to get the ball, and I think that's one of the big things with him is his ability to read the field and just trust whoever's open is going to bring it in.
That's a heck of an answer, David, and we're just going to end with that because you can't get better than the guy who won you guys the Super Bowl. So, David, we appreciate you joining us for the NOLA Lending Breakdown.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
The Players Coalition has been working closely with the Saints this season on the Say Her Name campaign. It aims to amplify the voices of African American women. Here's a sneak peek at the next conversation on this ongoing effort.
The topics that we wanted to cover was the intersectionality that Black women face, that they have a unique set of circumstances in this country.
Because a lot of Black women, a lot of Black people don't have, the luxury of being average.
All of these social identities, race, gender, class, sexual orientation, they overlap.
We all work really hard to make sure that we're respected in a certain way. And so when comments or certain thought processes come out of left field and we're like, there's no control that we could possibly have over that.
It's been a crazy 2020, but I'm really proud of not only the work that I've done, but you superstars around me have been doing as well.
Another Saints player involved in this campaign is Saints left tackle Tyron Armstead, who will certainly have his hands full today against this Tampa Bay defensive line. JD, I hear you caught up with him earlier this week.
Yeah, not an easy guy to catch up with because he's always such a busy guy, multi-talented Tyron Armstead, but he is a Pro Bowl player. He is a former All-Pro, so he's got a lot of skills that he has utilization of, and he's going to need them, he knows, in this game tonight. Our interview this week, we put the rush on Saints left tackle Tyron Armstead, an all-pro left tackle, a guy who built a community center, and a future, is it Grammy Award winning rapper? Isn't it Grammys, right? So Tyron, first of all, I've got to ask you, because the Saints have been playing so well offensively, it seems, lately. How is the chemistry going along the offensive line? It seems as if you guys really kind of put it together.
I would say it's growing, for sure. I think we're trending up in a lot of areas, and that's a great thing to say at this juncture of the season. Still things we need to work on and things that we're getting better at. But I think that we're getting more cohesiveness, more chemistry, and with those things, I think we'll be playing better.
Yeah, definitely we'll need it this week, playing against the #1 run defense in the league in Tampa Bay. They only give up 170 rushing yards a game. During the 4-game winning streak, the Saints are running it for about 132 a game. What have you guys found to be successful in the run game these 4 games?
Two elite runners, for sure. Alvin Kamara, arguably, I'm not arguing, but arguably the best running back in the NFL, and Latavius Murray as well. So 2 playmakers with the ball in their hands. We're sticking to it, trying to stick to the run, and us up front, we're just trying to create lanes, trying to do our job, get it done, and create that next big run.
You guys have been able to do this without Michael Thomas for 6 straight games, without Emmanuel Sanders for 2 games. Those are your 2 leading receivers. You did it without Marquez Callaway, a guy who's emerging as a receiver. Your receiving core has been depleted, even won a game without 6 starters, including both starting cornerbacks against Detroit. How has the cohesiveness for this team, have you guys just kind of galvanized and said, you know what, we can get through whatever is thrown at us?
Yeah, I mean, that speaks to the makeup of our team, how we're built. You know, we got that type of DNA, the next man up, with incredible depth. We got guys that's standing by, that's ready to get in and improve themselves when given the opportunity. So, you know, a great job to the coaching staff for having guys prepared, even when they're not playing. That's a hard thing to do, to be ready for a game when you're not getting those reps. So we got a lot of ways where we can get it done, and I think it bodes well for us going down when we start hitting that final stretch.
I'll tell you what, I got to roll back to Tampa one more time because they've got a really good defensive line. A guy on that defensive line, Ndamukong Suh, who has played some on-the-edge football, let's put it that way. But they've got a good defensive front. What are you expecting to see out of those guys Sunday night?
I mean, what they always do: physical, fast, physical. You know, they play through the whistle for sure. You know, that's a defense that got a lot of pride to them, and they're playing well. You know, honestly, playing extremely well. So it'll be a challenge. It'll be a challenge, especially up front. But I think it'll be fun, man. It'll be fun to go out there, fly around, and hit some people.
You know, this is a big game. I don't want to say a huge game because you guys have played so many huge games the last several years, but this is the first place game for the NFC South Division lead. Are you guys kind of looking at it from that standpoint? Because if you win this one, you sweep the season series with Tampa Bay, you own the tie break, and that seems to be a two-man fight for first place in the division so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of ways that you can kind of dissect this game for sure, but you know us, we try to keep the next game is our biggest game, and it's our biggest game because it's the next one. So trying to hone in on each game individually is kind of been one of our strengths, really. We got to do everything we need to do to win this game. As far as seed and all that, it's still pretty early. You know, still a lot of football left to be played, but we need this game because it's the next one.
Okay, I mentioned his rap career, so I got to get at that.
Let's do it.
Last game, post game, I saw DeMario and Ceedee, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson dancing after the game. Saw Latavius make a little cameo through there, and then saw you at the end, and it happened to be your song. So, have you kind of worked out a deal to where, look, y'all, you can do whatever you want to, but post-game, we're going to be celebrating. It's got to be my song.
Not at all. Not at all. No, I don't put any stipulations on what's played, nothing. You know, I think a lot of the guys enjoy it. So whenever we, post-game, we get it, I'm pretty sure that T-Stick going to pop on at some point. And the guys they turn up to it.
You know, what made you jump off into a rap career? Because I know you told me, that this is something that you've done for a while.
Yeah.
And so, it's a good side, I think, for some people a hobby, but this is an actual side career for you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been rapping since I was in high school, and then I made songs in college, and then in the pros as well. I made, music throughout the years, but professionally, I didn't, and until last year was the first time I really got in the studio and professionally created something, and people just, told me I shouldn't waste it. I shouldn't waste the talent. They felt like I had talent as an artist, so put it out, let people hear it, and see what happens.
What's more satisfying, a pancake or a good song?
Hey, I'm keeping my day job for sure. So that pancake, and they hard to come by in the NFL. You guys with elite technique. So once you get that pancake, that's definitely more satisfying.
We got to give you a plug. Tell people where they can find your music.
T-Stead on all platforms, all streaming platforms. Got a lot more music coming out. Hopefully some videos coming too with some more of your favorite players and other artists. So check me out, T.STAD.
Now that's Tyron Armstead, phenomenal player and person. Now, Caroline, let's move on to the inactives presented by Acadian Ambulance.
That's right, JD. Hot off the presses, the inactives list presented by Acadian Ambulance. As you said, the two biggest players on this list, Sheldon Rankins and Justin Hardy. Just what does that mean, JD, for the Saints team, those two players going on IR?
Well, if you lose Sheldon Rankins, you don't have the depth along the defensive line, and so you can't rotate as many guys in. And Sheldon Rankins was playing extremely well these last couple of games with some sacks. And of course, you just hate to see him injured again. He's such a great guy and a really good player. Justin Hardy is just as big a missing player because he is a gunner on the punt team, on the punt cover team. And so he's a guy who plays really at a Pro Bowl level, and he does some things that maybe will be difficult to replicate. We'll see exactly who goes out there for him in his place as a gunner, but that could be critical in this game.
Thanks so much, JD. We'll see you in postgame.
Calling all fanatics. Check out this week's item of the game. Go to Saints mobile app or saintsmobileshop.com to make your purchase. And while you're online, don't forget to set your fantasy lineup. Here are this week's fantasy leaders presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Saints fans are getting fired up for kickoff tonight. Let's check in with Marche Washington, who's at Broadside NOLA with some of those Saints fans.
I am at Broadside NOLA in Mid-City with some amazing Saints fans, and we are ready for kickoff tonight at 7:20 on NBC. But first, let's go talk to some New Orleans royalty. Yes, you heard me right. They are your former kings and queens of moms. Come, let's go speak to them. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Mark, how are you? This is the king, the current king of Moms 2020.
Uh-oh. Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
I love the mask. I love the attire. Are you ready for kickoff?
Oh, certainly.
You're ready for kickoff?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. So tell me, I know that you are one of our season ticket holders. Tell me about your most memorable moment in the Dome.
So, actually, my most memorable moment was videotaped. If you go to the Road to the Super Bowl video from 2009 when the Saints played Minnesota and Garrett Hartley kicked the field goal that sent us to the Super Bowl. As soon as that happens, you see two guys high five, and I'm one of those two guys.
You're one of those guys. We got to get you back in the Dome so we can go back to the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. So this is Leslie, royalty, New Orleans royalty, one of our queens of New Orleans. Leslie, how are you?
It's a beautiful day today. It's amazing. The Saints are they're gonna tear it up tonight. I know they're gonna do it. We got great music here before we get started, and we're just having a great day today.
It's such a beautiful day out here at Broadside NOLA. Come out. It's gorgeous. They're socially distant, a live band, and tonight on that big screen that you see over there, we are going to be playing your New Orleans Saints in Tampa Bay. Come out and have a good day with us, Saints fans. Back to you, Caroline.
Thanks so much, Marche. Let's take a look at some fans who are checking in with the hashtag Saints Game Day presented by Coke.
Saints fans, don't forget you can win big today no matter what happens on the field. Open up the Saints app and play Extra Downs presented by America's Card Room. You'll see questions just like this one. How many passing yards will the Saints defense hold the Buccaneers to in tonight's game? 0 to 75, 76 to 175, 176 to 250, 251 to 350, or 351 plus. Head to the Saints mobile app to play for a chance to win $1,000 right now.
Tensions are high for this division battle, so fans are taking to social media. It's time for our trash talk presented by Waste Pro. Let's check it out. This first one comes from @ChiefKappa23. I love when all the talking heads pick against the Saints and we prove them all wrong. Am I qualified as a talking head? I think so, but I'm going to pick the Saints. All right, this next one comes from @HendricksonSeason, a fan account, obviously, of Trey Hendrickson. I know we already beat Tampa Bay, but a win tonight would feel amazing. #Saints. No questions there. There's Alvin Kamara, who's having a fantastic season for the Saints now that he is fully healthy. He has shown that he can shoulder the load for this Saints team. Now you're seeing defensive end Marcus Davenport, who came back from injury just a few weeks ago, came up with a big sack for the Saints in that Panthers game and has been fantastic for the Saints defensive line. So hopefully going to see much more from Marcus Davenport collapsing that pocket today on Tom Brady. Hopefully those players are getting ready, but it's time now for our score predictions fueled by Chevron. I'm going to say the Saints are going to win tonight's game 27-24, a big field goal from Will Lutz. I feel it in my soul. We brought in a special guest for you all. I'll give you a hint. All right, let's go to our special guest to find out more on what he expects to see out of tonight's Saints game.
What's up, New Orleans? Our biggest game of the season so far is coming up this Sunday against the New Look Bucks. I need all the Saints fans out there to turn up and put good energy in the air so we can teach them boys in Tampa who the best team in the NFC South is.
Thanks so much to Trombone Shorty for that. But now let's go back out to Raymond James Stadium for my favorite part of the pregame show. It's our player huddle presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Here we go! Here we go! Big Draco! Let's go, urgency all night. Listen, man, the word is unstoppable. The word is unstoppable. You are unstoppable. Can't be. You know why? Because you've been equipped. Look inside you. You've been equipped with everything you need to be the force you need. You know what? Look beside you. You got a teammate that's counting on you. You got a teammate that won't let you fall. And you know why else you're unstoppable? Why? Look around you. I can guarantee you these angels in here tonight. And we gonna be fine. We gonna come to you. Hey, now's the time. Tonight's the night. Man, we put it in. Every one of you, man, we put it in. We sacrifice. Last time you're gonna take it. Let's go, man. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3.
We're so close to kickoff, Saints fans. You can watch the game on NBC at 7:20 p.m. Central. Don't forget, immediately following the game, to tune in right back here. We'll have your Saints postgame show presented by Mercedes-Benz. We'll have the live press conferences of head coach Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and several other Saints players, whoever wants to come to the podium. That'll do it for Dome at Home Live presented by FedEx. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Party going up, the party going up, party going up, the party going up, party going up, the party going up. Better go get it. Better get it, better go get it. Better get it, go get it, what you waiting for? Better get it, better go get it. Go get it, go claim it, what you waiting for? Keep winning, keep spinning, adding to the digits, popping while I'm sipping. Go get her, mo to the pot, go get her, I'ma stash me a lot. Keep spinning, foot tripping, trip tipping, all-star vision, add more digits, exclusive with the business, always winning, better go get it. Where my down south brothers, my down south brothers, where my down south sisters, my down south sisters. It's getting hot in here, it's getting hot in here, it's getting hot in here. Better go get it.